Hi friends, it's Miss Tara with Niles District Library. Got another great Spaces to Place. We're talking about astronauts this week. There's going to be two videos for this one. So the first video is me reading the story, May Among the Stars, by Rhoda Ahmed, illustrated by Stasia Burrington. The second video is going to be a Kahoot astronaut quiz. So I'm going to test your knowledge on some of our astronauts that we have had in history. All right, so let's get along here with the first video. This is May Among the Stars. Little May was a dreamer. They say that daydreams never succeed, but little May was different. One day, May was working on an assignment for school about what she wanted to be when she grew up. What will you tell them, May? I will tell them I want to see Earth. This is Earth, May, said her mother. The flowers, the grass, the forest, and the mountains. We live on Earth. I know, but I want to see Earth from out there. That's an amazing plan, little May, but then you have to become an astronaut. That's the way you can see Earth from space. Astronaut? Do you think I could do that? Of course you can. If you dream it, if you believe it, and work hard for it, anything is possible. May asked her mom to take her to the library. She searched for books about space and astronauts. After dinner, May drew pictures of space, and she even made her own astronaut costume out of old orange curtains and cardboard boxes. Later, she asked her dad, "But how do I become an astronaut? It seems impossible." You find your way, May, because if you dream it, if you believe it, and work hard for it, anything is possible. But space is so far away. It's closer than you think, little May, and you may get there sooner than you think. That night, May had a happy dream. She was dancing in space, surrounded by billions of sparkling stars. Below her, she could see Earth floating and turning like a shining crystal ball. The next morning, May told her parents about her dream. She wanted to tell everyone, and every time she talked about it, her eyes would light up. In the classroom, Miss Bell told everyone to stand in line on the rug. Today, we are going to share our dreams about the future. What do you want to be? And what do you want to do when you grow up? Who wants to go first? I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a teacher. Football player. I want to be a mom. I want to go to space. I want to be an astronaut. All of the kids started laughing. Miss Bell asked, May, are you sure you don't want to be a nurse? Nursing would be a good profession for someone like you. I don't want to be a nurse. I want to be an astronaut. May felt very disappointed. On her way home from school, May was quiet. She looked out the car window. Her world turned blue and cold, and nothing was the way that it used to be. At home, May started crying. Miss Bell said I can't become an astronaut. What a silly thing to say, said her mother. She told me I should be a nurse instead, said May. Her mom wiped away her tears. My dear May, I hope you didn't believe her. Of course I believed her. She's my teacher. I'm sorry Miss Bell didn't encourage you, but she can't stop you. No one can stop you. Follow your dream, May, and go to space. Thank you, Mom. I promise when I get to space, I will wave to you and Dad from the spaceship. Her mom took her hand and they started dancing. You must always repeat to yourself, if I can dream it, if I can believe in it, and if I work hard for it, anything is possible. May went on dreaming, believing, and working really hard. And guess what? She went to space and waved to her mom and dad on Earth. Dr. Mae Jemison. Mae Carol Jemison was born on October 17th, 1956 in Decatur, Alabama. Mae always loved science. She loved being outside and looking up at the stars, knowing that one day she would travel to space. May is highly educated. She graduated from Morgan Park High School in 1973 at the incredible age of 16. She enrolled at Stanford University, earning a Bachelor of Science degree in Chemical Engineering in 1977. After May got her MD, her medical doctor, in 1981 from Cornell Medical College, she briefly worked as a general practitioner before leaving to work with the Peace Corps as a medical officer in Liberia and Sierra Leone. When she returned home, May decided to follow her childhood dream of going to space. She accomplished many firsts. She applied to NASA's astronaut training program and on June 4th, 1987 was accepted. She became the first African-American female astronaut. On September 12, 1992, May's dream finally came true when she traveled to space on the Shuttle Endeavour, mission STS-47. It was then that May officially became the first African-American woman in space. May left NASA in 1993 and became the first real astronaut to act in an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Today, she heads the Jemison Group and the Dorothy Jemison Foundation for Excellence. May speaks fluent Russian, Japanese, and Swahili. This is the end of part 1 for our video on astronauts. Stay tuned for part 2. We'll see you there. Hi guys, it's Miss Sarah with Niles Library, and I made a Kahoot quiz for you on famous astronauts. You can play along with me with your own Kahoot at home. We'll put the link in the website. So here we go. This one's on famous astronauts. You ready? Here we go. He was the first astronaut to step foot on the moon. Was it John Glenn, Neil Armstrong, Michael Collins, or Buzz Aldrin? If you're at home, you can pause the YouTube video and think about it. If you are doing the Kahoot along with me, make sure to click the correct color. And the answer is Neil Armstrong. If this is going too fast for you, feel free to pause at any time. We're going to keep going here. Next one. Question number 2. She was the first African-American woman in space. Was she Stephanie Wilson, Mae Jemison, Joan Higginbotham, or Jeanette Epps? All right, here she is pictured in her NASA suit. What was her name? That's right, her name was Mae Jemison. Something cool about Mae Jemison, she started in 1992 for her first space flight, and she also starred on an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Question number 3. This was the first American woman to fly in space. Was it Kristy MacFarlane, Mae Jemison, Sally Ride, or Valentina Tereshkova? What do you think the answer is? The correct answer is Sally Ride. Sally Ride was the first American in space in 1983, third overall. Okay? Third woman overall. And she helped put a satellite into space. That's why she went up there. All right, question number 4. Roger B. Chaffee was one of 3 astronauts killed in the Apollo 1 fire on January 27th, 1967. He is from a city in Michigan. Which city is it? Is he from Niles? Is he from Kalamazoo? Is he from Detroit? Or is he from Grand Rapids? In this city, he has a street named after him. I know I've seen it when I've been there. He is from Grand Rapids, Michigan. So next time you go to Grand Rapids, see if you can find Roger B. Chaffee Avenue. Question number 5. This astronaut was born in Detroit, Michigan, grew up in Cassopolis, and graduated from Dowagiac High School. Was it Eileen Kincheloe Jr., Michael Collins, Alan Shepard, or Gus Grissom? Fun fact, he did not actually get to go into outer space. He died on July 26, 1958, during an astronaut training in a plane. His name is Ivan Kincheloe, and if you are from Dowagiac, you're very familiar with Kincheloe because there is Kincheloe Elementary School. This astronaut was played by Tom Hanks in the movie Apollo 13. He was the commander of the mission. He was the commander of many other missions as well. He was also the commander of Apollo 8, Gemini 7, and Gemini 12. Here he is pictured with Tom Hanks, who played him in the movie Apollo 13. What was his name? That's right, his name is Jim Lovell. The other three answers that are on here, Jack Swigert and Fred Hayes, were the other two men in Apollo 13, and Ken Mattingly was one of the astronauts on the ground who was helping in the flight simulators. Eugene Aldrin Jr. legally changed his name in the 1980s to this. Did he change it to Bob, Bub, Buzz, or Bash? Fun fact about this person, he is the second man to step on the moon, and he was also on Dancing with the Stars. That's right, his name is Buzz Aldrin. Here we go, at question number 8. She was the first American civilian selected to go into space in 1986. She was a high school history and English teacher. Unfortunately, she didn't make it all the way out into space. She died when the Challenger space shuttle exploded on January 28, 1986. What was her name? Her name was Kristy MacFarlane. These are other women astronauts that are here. Judith Resnick, which was the green answer, she was also on board the fated Challenger explosion, and she also died that day as well. Question number 9. He is the oldest astronaut to fly in space. His first flight was in 1961, and he returned to space the last time in 1998. Fun fact about him, he was a 4-termed U.S. Senator from Ohio, and his capsule from 1961 was called the Friendship 7. He was 77 years old when he flew in space the second time. His name is John Glenn. Question number 10, he was the first African-American astronaut who launched into space. He flew several missions from 1983 to 1982. Is his name Ronald McNair, Frederick Gregory, Guy Bluford, or Robert H. Lawrence? His mission was August 30th, 1983, the STS-8 mission on the Challenger, and he deployed a satellite. His name is Guy Bluford, but everybody calls him Guy. Question number 11, on May 5th, 1961, he became the first American ever in space. He flew the Mercury spacecraft on May 5th, 1961. He went to the moon in 1971, and he is also the first person ever to hit a golf ball in space. What was his name? Alan Shepard, Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong, Gus Grissom. His name was Alan Shepard. We already know that Neil Armstrong was the first man on the moon, but he was not the first man in space. And we already know that Buzz Aldrin is the second man on the moon. I wonder who Gus Grissom is. I bet we'll find out. Question number 12. He was the second ever American, flew the second ever American space mission, the Liberty Bell 7, on July 21st, 1961. The flight lasted a total of 15 minutes. He was the second man ever to go into space, and he died in the Apollo 1 fire, along with his 2 other flight mates. His name was Gus Grissom. While Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin were on the moon, he was piloting the Apollo 11 command module named Columbia. Was his name Wally Schirra, Gene Cernan, Michael Collins, or Pete Conrad? He has logged a total of 266 hours in space, and he just died on April 28th of this year, 2021. And his name is Michael Collins. Question number 14. She was the first female pilot and the first female commander of a space shuttle. Was it Mae Jemison, Eileen Collins, Stephanie Wilson, or Peggy Whitson? Her first flight was in 1995 on the Space Shuttle Discovery to the Russian space station Mir. Her name is Eileen Collins, no relation to Michael Collins as far as I know. Question 15, he was the first Asian American astronaut in space. He flew on the Space Shuttle Discovery in 1985. That was his first mission. His last mission was on the Challenger shuttle that blew up in 1986, along with Kristy MacFarlane. And his name is Ellison Onizuka. I didn't push it fast enough. That's okay. His name is Ellison Onizuka, and he died the same day as Kristy MacFarlane and Judith Resnick. Question number 16, he was the first astronaut to fly untethered in outer space, so he didn't have anything connecting him to the spaceship. There is him. This is his name, Bruce McCandless, John Harrington, Andy Thomas, or Raja Chari. Had a little bit of a typo there. His name is McCandless. This was on February 7th, 1984, the Space Shuttle Challenger mission. He was also joined by his co-worker, Robert Stewart. The job took 5 hours and 55 minutes. Question 17. She was not only the first Hispanic woman to travel in space, but she's also director of the Johnson Space Center for a time. Is her name Serena Anoon, Jessica Meir, Christina Koch, or Ellen Ochoa? Fun fact about this person, they have over 1,000 hours logged orbiting space, and the first time she was in space was in 1993. Her name is Ellen Ochoa. She holds the record for the most time ever spent in space, a whopping 665 days. To be precise, 665 days, 22 hours, and 22 minutes. Her first mission was on June 5th, 2002. And her name is Peggy Whitson. Question number 19. On June 3rd, 1965, he became the first American to walk in space. So Bruce McCandless was the first person to walk in space without a tether, which is that gold hose that you see there. Is his name Ed Green, Ed White, Ed Black, or Ed Brown? His name was Ed White. He walked in space from the Gemini 4 capsule, and he also died in the Apollo 1 fire with Gus Grissom and Roger B Chaffee. Question number 20. This Russian cosmonaut was the first ever human in space. Was his name Alexei Leonov, Vladimir Komarov, Pavel Popovich, or Yuri Gagarin? He flew on the Vostok 1, orbited the Earth on April 12th, 1961. His name is Yuri Gagarin, and he died in a plane crash in 1968. Last question. She was the first ever woman in space. She flew the Russian shuttle Vostok 6 on a solo mission on June 16, 1963. What's interesting about her, she didn't have any pilot training. She didn't know how to fly a plane. She was an amateur parachutist, so she was really good at jumping out of planes. Her name was Valentina Tereshkova. Svetlana Savinskaya, Tatiana Kuznetsova, and Irina Solovanova are also other female Russian cosmonaut astronauts. All right, so we hope you have enjoyed our Kahoot here on Famous Astronauts. If you would like to know any more information about these wonderful individuals, you can come see us here at the Niles Library. Check out a book. and find some information about them. You can play this Kahoot. We'll post the link on the bottom of this YouTube video. We'll see you next time for another great, fun YouTube video. But until then, air hugs. Bye, friends.